I'm Sarah Jane with Fit Healthy Moms, and I'm going to give you an inner outer thigh workout today. So, at your gym, you probably have been on the machine or seen the machine where you go in and out with the legs to work the inner thighs, and then in and out with the legs to work the outer thighs, and it looks ridiculous, and usually the machine's facing a wall because it's a super weird machine and people feel awkward in it. But women love those machines, the inner and outer thigh machines, and let me tell you, they're the biggest waste of your time. Those machines burn no calories. They work on this one little teeny tiny muscle group that really doesn't need a lot of extra weight added to it, so you really do not need a weight machine to work your inner and outer thighs, and it's not functional at all. When in your daily life do you do this all the time? Probably never. So there's such better ways to work your inner and outer thighs, way more effective, way more bang for your buck. You can burn a ton of calories working those muscles rather than just sitting on this stupid machine. So please, don't ever use that machine again. And when you walk by and people are using that machine, in your head laugh at them because they're being ridiculous. They're totally wasting their time. All right, so that's the end of my little rant about that. To work your inner and outer thighs, there's a ton of exercises that you can do with your body weight that will use all the big muscle groups in your lower leg. And that's what you want to do. If you can burn a whole bunch of calories by using a whole bunch of muscle groups to fire all together, that's going to help you accomplish your goal much faster. It's more bang for your buck. You're always trying to get as many muscle groups working at one time as possible because that's how you're most time efficient with your workouts. So isolating one teeny tiny muscle group is a big waste of your time. So what I want to show you today is 5 exercises that you can use that are gonna work the inner and outer thigh, but they're also going to use a whole bunch of other muscles in your body, primarily in your lower legs. So the first exercise is a walking lunge. Walking lunges are fantastic for using every muscle in the lower body. They work the butt, they work the front of the leg, they work the back of the leg, they work the inner thigh, they work the outer thigh, they work the calves, they work the front of the leg, the front of the calf and the shin area, everything. So walking lunges are your friend. They make you super sore. That's a good thing though. So what I want you to always look for when you're doing a walking lunge here is that you take a big step forward, drop that back knee, you'll have 90 degrees, push up through the front heel, and then step forward again. So what happens when you're doing that lunge is that your body has to stabilize. So every time I take that lunging step, my body has to stabilize. So I'll show you again there. I have a strong core, so I'm pretty stable as I step forward. So a normal lunge for me is pretty well lined up. But if people who are not as strong through their core, strong through their legs, they go into a lunge and they're kind of wobbly here, and all those little muscles on the inner and outer thigh have to fire to stabilize. So then you take that next step, and again, wobble, wobble, everything fires, and then you have to stabilize. So if you have a long hallway in your house or a long driveway, you can go out and be a role model for your neighbors. Do walking lunges. I recommend sets of 20, so 20 steps or 20 lunges, 10 to each leg. Do walking lunges, and really you'll get all that inner thigh, outer thigh, you'll feel it in the butt, it will feel really good. Another thing you can do with walking lunges is once you've mastered walking lunges and mastered the stability with them, is add dumbbells to them. So walking lunges with 10-pound dumbbells, totally different ballgame than without any weight. So that's your first exercise that's going to work inner and outer thighs. Second exercise to work inner and outer thighs, we're going to go into something called skaters. So you're going to feel this in the sides of your legs, you'll probably feel it up into the butt, and you'll actually be using your inner thighs as well. So skaters is a side-to-side movement. When you think about using the inner and outer thigh muscles, you use those muscles when you go side to side, which we don't do very often in daily life. We do a lot of things forward in daily life. So the muscles that go forward are the ones that always get used, which is why we tend to be very quad dominant, hamstring dominant. We get the front and the back of the legs developed, we don't get those side muscles developed. The side muscles are a lot smaller though, they don't need a ton of training, but for injury prevention and also for vanity, a little bit of training can be a good thing. So skaters, you're going to come onto one foot, you're going to hop across balance, hop across balance. So as I balance, that whole outer thigh is grabbing and engaging. As I push off, the inner thigh is working. So I'm pushing off with the inner thigh, balancing on the outer thigh. Push off with one, and then I'm firing the other. So you're just coming back and forth here. Now if I want to make this harder, I can pick up my pace and I can go wider right here, or I can make it harder by coming down, touching the floor with my opposite fingers. This is going to really intensify it and make my butt work even more and that outer thigh area work even more. Notice my back leg that crosses over behind is not touching the ground at all. and your heart rate will get way up with that. So the advantage of that exercise, a little bit of cardio. Way better than these stupid machines that give you no cardio. So the next thing we're gonna do, exercise 3, is sumo squats. So this one, you can do with or without a dumbbell. I'll demonstrate it both ways. So without a dumbbell, you're gonna come into wide feet, toes point out a little bit, and you're gonna drop down, butt goes back, weight into my heels, and up. So as you come down, this is gonna really feel, you're gonna really feel the inner thighs here. They're gonna stretch, especially the more you point those toes out, stretching, working through the inner thighs. Additionally, I'm getting a ton of work in the front and the back of the leg, into my butt, so I'm working a bunch of things at one time. If I want to add my weight, I'm going to hold it like this. I'll come down until the opposite end of the dumbbell hits the floor and then up. So these are called sumo squats or plie squats. You can also do this with a kettlebell, holding the kettlebell, holding one kettlebell with both hands around it. Dropping up and down right here. That will work the inner thigh very nicely. Next up, there's two variations of a similar exercise to work the outer thigh. I'm going to have you start with, you'll need a ball for one variation. So if you don't have a ball, don't do that one. You can do the other one. So on the ball, you're going to come onto your side. So start with the ball, kneeling next to the ball. Roll yourself over, and you're going to bring your feet out here. I want you to brace really strong through your abs. Anytime you're on the ball, you're unstable, so you have to use your core, abs, to stabilize. So belly pulls back to help me balance. One hand on the ball here, one hand on the floor, and then I'm going to stack my feet and lift. So this is my little Jane Fonda exercise from the 80s, right? But I'm on a ball, it's way harder. If I bring this hand off the floor, it's even harder. Let's see if I can do it. So my abs are tight. I'm holding the ball with both hands, so I have no hands on the floor. This thigh is working here, and this thigh underneath here, woo, is working to help me stabilize. So I'm working my core, I'm working all my lower body as I contract and tense that whole lower body to keep myself from falling over. So you can do a set on each side. My last exercise for you to work the outer thigh is very similar to what we just did on the ball, but you're going to do it in side plank position, which is even more challenging. Make sure my ball doesn't roll away. Okay, so you're going to come on the floor on your hands, or hand, and feet stacked here. So here's my side plank position. This right here is challenging in and of itself. I'm working a ton of core, really strong through my abs, really working my obliques to hold my hips up, and then I can lift, and I can do repetitions here, or I can hold. This burns like a mother, right here, and right here. And then you can hold it for as long as you can, bring it down and rest, and then come back up and hold, and bring it down, and then go to the other side. So that workout, those 5 exercises have me sweating. My heart rate is up. I've worked all my lower body muscle groups. So much more beneficial than my little inner outer thigh machine. So I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you get right to work on these exercises, and let me know how it goes on the blog at fithealthymoms.com.